the thing about it is that as we enter a new era, as we talk to people, and I've got some really cool stories to share, but as we talk to people, we're feeling or we're sensing and getting feedback around feeling a little unsettled. Now, that doesn't mean it's negative. It can be unsettled, as in, I'm excited about the future. That's less common than I'm fearful of the future. So I'll kind of pass the puck to you, and because I know that you've also had many conversations. And what are you seeing as we go into this new era? Where would you like to enter the conversation?
Well, I think it's acknowledging that something is coming to a close. There's some familiarity and some memories that maybe we're trying to hang on to and trying to give ourselves a little bit of comfort in the fact that there's like a subtle form of comfort that's coming right now in the form of a little bit of normalcy. We're back into the world, we're back at work, but so many things have changed. And what we have to acknowledge is that there's going to be some things that are never going to go back to the way they were before 2020. It's just the way that it is, and it's for some people, it's very sad, and for some people, it's very exciting. So what I'd like to do is dig into what the uncertainty is, and is there a way to enter it with fearlessness instead of fear, like seeking comfort in uncertainty rather than demanding certainty. The unsettled that I'm sensing, even in myself, I'm noticing things are changing and things are speeding up, and I'm having to learn how to slow things down again so that I don't get caught up in trying to just head full barrel on into a new era without actually being mindful of this transition. Now, the transition, I think we have to be conscious of it. I think we have to actually put a stake in the ground, a line of demarcation going, okay, here's where I'm at in this transition. Here's where I'm at in understanding that when one era comes to a close, there needs to be a transition time that could be quite bumpy. But as we open up to a new era, is it okay to be frightened? Is it okay to be fearful? Is it okay to be uncertain? And is it okay to be really optimistic and open? And I think it's all of those things that are coming together right now, where people are feeling, and in my conversations with people, whether it's friends, family, clients, is there this hum of uncertainty that really is affecting people. And I think it's important that we shine a light on it today.
Yeah, and from a mindset matters kind of view, or a point of view of mindset matters, it always starts, we say it often, which is that it starts with being aware of how you're feeling, being aware of what you're seeing for the future, for yourself, for your family. What is it that you're feeling around the future, and what are you nervous about, and or what are you excited about? But the first thing is having the awareness so that you're not getting caught up in it. Now, let's talk a little bit and start to break this down into kind of components, if you will. One of the things that showed up for us, as I'm talking with the team within the Real Estate Investment Network, we've got an event coming up, and we're talking to people randomly because we also are having other conversations with them. And we say, are you going to be at the Accelerator Summit this weekend? And they're going, what summit? And we have sent out emails, we've texted people, we've made announcements on social media, and they're like oblivious to that particular event coming up. And it's a big event, they're part of the community, and you go, how do you miss it? And as a organization, as a team, we're going, what do we have to do to kind of get people's attention? And the reality of it is, of course, is that people are so inundated with information coming at them, they're so distracted. Some of it is the distraction of just sheer volume of information coming at them. Some of it is just the distraction of what's happening in life and business and jobs and careers and family. I mean, there's so many distractions coming at people, which is also, as we shift into a new era, a lot of people that we talk to, or a number of people that we hear from, are kind of locked into this place in this story of pre-pandemic. So I've broken it down in my mind. There was pre-pandemic, there was pandemic, and now there is post-pandemic. And it's the culmination of all those things that are bringing us into the new era. The question becomes, what are you going into the new era with? What are you going to let go? And what do you want to keep? Are you aware that we're shifting, and you're shifting into the new era? We are at a global level going into a new era, a new way of being, culturally, society, belief systems changing, shifting. Some are being forced down our throat. I mean, we've talked about it many times. So the question is that how do you step back from that? How do you slow it down so you don't run into it and crash and burn? And I'm going to share a story in a minute, but I want to just stop for a second and kind of look at it and see from your point of view, what are you how would you kind of disseminate that? How would you break that down and how you're feeling or seeing it with your clients and or the conversations that you're having?
Well, for me, there's 2 ways of looking at it. You know, to your point, there's the pre-pandemic, the what we went through, and then the post, um, outcome of what's happening, and we have to be able to disseminate and distinguish what we're going to bring forward, what we're going to leave behind. Pre-2020, I did have a sense that something was changing, something was up. I mean, I've been doing my conspiracy theory work since the early 1990s, so I'm not surprised. If anybody asked me, they go, "Yeah, this totally makes sense." But on one hand, there's never a way to be prepared to what really happened. So there's a lack of preparedness for these changes that I think that most people are feeling. They don't feel prepared. They don't feel they're ready for some kind of change. So there's the desire or the wanting to go back to my memory, for example, that it was so great before 2020. Everything was so much easier. Everyone loved each other. There wasn't this divisiveness. They didn't want to force me to put stuff in my body. They weren't going to take away my cash, all these things. No, that was happening. We may just weren't really aware of it. But now that we move forward and we're starting to get more awareness to what's happening and to live in a post pandemic world, how do we prepare ourselves in the way mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually? And that's what I'm really seeing is that I'm noticing where I'm not in shape. I'm noticing where our finances are a little bit off. I'm noticing that, oh my gosh, thank God we don't take consumer debt and we pay our credit cards off. Thank God we don't carry a lot of debt because going forward, this could be this, this, and this. So in all 7 areas of life, I'm seeing that I have to really dig into and be mindful to in order to prepare myself and us as our family as we're going forward into some uncertainty. I don't have a problem with uncertainty. I love being open and fearless when it comes to opportunities. But I'm hearing from my clients and from people that we're talking to and friends and chosen family, there's so much fear. There's so much fear in people wanting to go back to what they believe truly was a better way of being. And I think that's going to be a little bit difficult for people, is that the truth is, I don't know if it was better. So we have to be careful of our memories. And our memories are designed, of course, for self preservation. So we need to be mindful. And I think even in this conversation, as we build into the conversation of a new era, is what memories are we going to be attached to? And what are we going to bring forward? And can we figure out what's a true memory and what is just a memory that's trying to keep us safe?